Hi, and you're watching SportsKnight, so welcome to the studio.
What are you doing? I didn't think this was amateur hour here at SportsKnight.
I'm sorry, Mr. Station Manager. Sir, this is my first time.
Freshman. Let me show you how it's done. We're going to roll the open. The NCAA cross-country regionals. We'll let you know how the Knights did.
Well, we had a lot of close games this year, so I was kind of just, reminiscing back into those games.
Were the Knights able to pull out a win against the Norse? We'll let you know.
And the women's soccer team played host to the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. We'll bring you all the highlights, because this, my friends, is Sports Night. So Nathan, did you see that? That's what we call the open. Now we're going to do something that's called the highlights.
You don't have to treat me like a child, you know.
Well, look at you. You are a child.
Could a child do this? Coming up in Sports Night, we have highlights from Waverly Shell Rock's trip to the volleyball state tournament, and we go inside the numbers with a hard-hitting sport.
Impressive, young grasshopper, but first, the conference-winning women's cross-country team hosted regional Saturday, looking to advance to the national race in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Knights had the advantage, racing on their home course. Alana Abnett and senior Emily Eimers lived up to expectations in this one, and Abnett finished second overall in the race with a time of 21 minutes and 56 seconds, 12 seconds behind the eventual winner. Eimers came in 8th with a time of 22 minutes and 20 seconds. Teammate Laura Sigmund was right behind Eimers, finishing in 13th. The Knights had 68 points total, winning the region by 17 points over second place Carleton.
It feels amazing. We've been working so hard towards this, and I'm just really proud of everyone.
We started the year, we graduated our 2 All-Americans for last year, so this is a very inexperienced group. Some of them have never run, most of them never run a Region B before. We started the year, I think, ranked 8th in the region. So expectations, I don't know. I knew we were pretty good, and so if we put things together, I knew by the end of the year we could be a pretty good team.
And it was on to the Nationals for the female Knights, and they will race in the NCAA Championships this Saturday in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
The men's team came into the regional race after placing 3rd in the conference race. Grant Mosier led the team with a 31st place finish in a time of 26 minutes and 13 seconds. Shane Wareheim and Parker Comentino came in 2nd and 3rd for the Knights respectively. The Knights ended up in 10th in the field of 20 teams, which would end their season as none of their runners qualified individually for the final race. Nebraska Wesleyan took the regional championship with 93 total points.
It's been a really good men's year. This was probably not one of our better performances. Grant's been one of the best team captains we've had, and this is a team of middle runners. There are not a lot of front runners, not a lot of stars in this group, and so they have accomplished a ton this year compared to what they did a year ago.
The men's team will graduate 3 seniors from this year's team. Grant Mosier, John Sturm, and Tanner Linden all ran their last race in orange and black on Saturday.
And stepping off the Wartburg campus, entering the state tournament, the volleyball Go-Hawks had been on fire, not losing a set in 26 matches. I was at this year's state volleyball tournament to see if the Go-Hawks could repeat what they did in 2009 and win it all. In the semifinals, the Go-Hawks faced a familiar opponent in the Union Knights. The Go-Hawks took an early set lead and held on for a 25-21 set win. And in the second set, it was the same story. Morgan Kurt would get her 18th kill off the overpass for her set point, and the Go-Hawks would win set 2, 25-21. And in the third set, it would be a back-and-forth affair, but the Go-Hawks would do just enough to complete the sweep with a 25-23 set win.
It's really exciting. A lot of people doubted us and they didn't think we'd ever be here, and I mean, this is one of our goals, getting to state, and then now that we're in the state finals.
The championship game was a rematch from 2 years ago as the Go-Hawks faced the Crusaders from Sioux City, Heelan. It looked good for the Go-Hawks early as they took an 18-12 lead, but the Crusaders would fight back to tie the set at 22 apiece. But WSR holds on and wins the first set 28-26 on Morgan Kurt's 10th kill of the set. And in the second set, the Crusaders responded and took an early 10-6 lead. After that, the second set was all Go-Hawks, and they would win that set 25-18. And it looked like it would be a Go-Hawks sweep when WSR took a 20-16 lead in the third set, but the Crusaders would fight their way back and win set 3, 27-25. But there was no stopping the Go-Hawks. Whaley Sherrock took control with a 9-3 run in the middle of the fourth set to take a 15-8 lead, and on match point, Kara Rogerman would get her 12th kill on the night, earning the Go-Hawks a state title.
Yeah, we've just been practicing so hard, and we just really worked on being leaders and being confident and doing our jobs and getting the job done.
I remember winning it my sophomore year against Bishop Heelan, and I just remembered that feeling and knew that's what I wanted, and that's what our team worked for because we knew how great it felt.
You gotta realize we lost 10 seniors, and that's a lot of practice players and competition players, and as the players, the year went on, they got more experience, they got that court experience, and they just kept getting better and better, and they became believers that they could do it.
Your first block of Sports Night.
Wait, that was just one block?
Oh, wow. Well, still to come on Sports Night, the football team was in action in Decorah for a rivalry game.
And quarterback Danny Stiefel joins us in the locker room to talk about his final season as a Knight. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to the show. The Wartburg women's soccer team hosted the first round of the NCAA tournament on Friday night against the Presbyterian Panthers. So let's roll those highlights. And Anna Aquino would open up the scoring for the Knights in the 29th minute when she makes a nice move past the defender and slots one home in the far post. And the score remained 1-0 at halftime. And just over a minute into the second half, Rachel Torrey makes a nice pass into the box for Kelly Anderson, who puts the ball into the back of the net for a 2-0 lead. And Presidio had a few chances to score in the second half, including a bouncing ball in the box right there that doesn't get through, and a free kick opportunity. But the Knights, however, held their ground and prevailed by a final score of 2-0.
We're excited to be out here. It's been fun to play at home, and it's the first round of the NCAA tournament, so it's a great win.
Just getting a goal on the board, it really just sets the pace for the game. And right when we get the first one, it's a little sigh of relief. We know we can score against them, so we just wanted to keep doing it.
It feels awesome, going on to the second round NCAA tournament. That's what we worked for all season.
And with that win, the Knights advanced to the second round to face Wisconsin Whitewater, who defeated Aurora 2-0 on Friday.
After the Knights win on Friday against Principia, they returned to the pitch looking for a win to put them in the Sweet 16. The game was scoreless in the first half, but the Knights responded quickly in the second with a goal off the foot of sophomore forward Anna Aquino in the 51st minute to break the tie and give themselves a 1-0 lead. Whitewater responded in the 73rd minute with a goal from Pamela Lazo to pull even at 1. After 2 overtimes, this one headed to penalty kicks. Whitewater put one past goalie Monica Nadi, but the Knights responded right back. After both teams missed their third round of kicks, each team ended the shootout tied up at 4. In the 7th round of kicks, Whitewater scored for their 6th point. The Orange and Black couldn't match them as their season ends right here on a kick up the middle. This is the second year in a row the Lady Knights have lost in the second round. The Orange and Black finish out their season 17-2-3.
The Wartburg football Knights took to the field against their rival Luther last Saturday. The Knights were looking to remain in the hunt for a tournament bid, while the Norse were just looking for bragging rights as they came into this game 3-6. And the Knights here on trying to defeat Luther's senior day, trying to crash the party, but on the first play from scrimmage, QB for Luther, Chris Reynolds takes off in the option keeper for 36 yards and take on 15 more after the late hit coming up right here. Then 2 plays later, it's going to be Reynolds again, but this time he's going to respond as he finds his man, Drew Healy, off the tip drill. What a great catch. 7-0 Luther early, and they are looking good. but the Knights are going to respond right out on their first drive. Offensive drive of the game. Quarterback Dan Stiefel finds his favorite target, Levi Helving, streaking down the sideline for the 26-yard TD reception, 7-all early. And then next Wartburg possession, Stiefel finds Mr. Dependable Kurt Herska on the critical third down pass right here. Herska's catch keeps the drive alive for your Knights. And then 2 plays later, it's Stiefel to Helbling again, this time from 15 yards out, capping the 5-play, 43-yard drive, 14-7 good guys. And then just before the first quarter ran out, it's going to be Stiefel again, this time hooking up with Brandon Sims here on the easy pitch and catch. No one's going to touch him as he rolls into the end zone. 21-7 Knights at the end of the first half. But in the second half, it's a different story as Luther comes out hot and scores 14 unanswered. This one ties it up as Reynolds finds Stephen Thompson in the back of the end zone from 5 yards out, and it's 21-all late in the fourth quarter. But in dramatic fashion, just like all season long, kicker Marcus Williams knocks home the game-winning field goal with under a minute to play, and the Knights trot off in a victory, 24-21. And the victory propelled the Knights to an 8-2 overall record on the season, but it wouldn't be enough as they were overlooked for an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. To hear from some Knights about their performance against Luther, check out our Sports Knights page on Facebook.
Now the Knights have won their last 6 matchups against the Norse, with Luther being Wartburg's most pesky rival. This week, Sports Knight's Shelby Granath decided to take a look at the rivalry.
Every college has its rival, and for Wartburg, it's the Luther Norse. Since the 1950s, Wartburg has had a rivalry with Luther, and to honor that rivalry, the Student Alumni Council organizes Beat Luther Week leading up to the big football game, and in the winter, the basketball games.
We had shirts made and we were selling those all week. And we also just spread the word. We have stickers that we've been handing out today to everyone here, Beat Luther stickers. And then we also attended the parents' tailgate and sold t-shirts, gave out free cookies and cider, and got the parents pumped up for the game today also. Let's go Knights!
The Wartburg vs. Luther football game is a lot of fun for the fans as well.
I think it's really like a cool part of going to Wartburg and coming out here, putting my orange on.
It's a great way to keep school spirit up and keep the rivalry going.
And on the other hand,
they're cool. It's a cool school, but when it comes to the football game, they got to go down, you know?
I think it's a good rivalry because we all hate Luther and we just want them to lose.
The Luther game is also something the football players look forward to, even though they know it will be a battle.
It's a big rivalry. I mean, last year was really close. This year is really close again. I mean, they always battle against us, and it's just always a tight game.
It's a big rivalry, and they always play us tough. And so I guess, we prepared for them like any other team, but we just kind of had that note in our head that it was going to be a big rivalry. So.
Luther always plays us tough. You can just feel it out on the field, the tension between everybody, and it's fun. It's fun to play in a rivalry game.
It's just a battle. Rivalry games, that's just what happens. Luther's a good team, we're a good team, It just comes down to who can make the play at the end of the game.
And on Saturday, that team was Wartburg, winning 24-21.
It's good for the rivalry, just because we won, and it's kind of nice to beat Luther here. We beat Luther here twice now, so as a senior, I haven't lost on this field. It's kind of nice.
It's always great. It's always great beating Luther. I think we're 4 out of 4 in these years, and it's always a big game. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad we got the win out of the rivalry to end the season 8-2 and stuff. So it's always fun.
Wartburg College, you rah, rah, rah!
The Knights will continue to look for dominance over the dreaded Norse in the winter sports season, but until then,
let's go Knights!
Reporting for Sports Night, I'm Shelby Granath.
Still to come on Sports Night, find out who our athlete of the week is.
And plus, we're going to go inside the numbers with a bunch of girls hitting each other. And no, we are not bringing you the Hawkeye highlights. This is Sports Night. Welcome back to Sports Night. Joining me in the locker room tonight is Danny Stiebel. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, you guys finished 8-2 overall this season. Just kind of tell me your thoughts on how things went.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 8-2 is a good record. You can't complain about that. We had 2 games that were real close. We probably should have won. And it kind of bites us in the butt, actually, coming down to the end of the season, not making the playoffs. But, those are games you can't, you guys, I guess you can't really dwell on them. I mean, they're over and, done with. But season's over with, and obviously, we all felt like we did a good job, and 8-2 is a good record, so we're not going to complain about that.
Yeah, and then how, mentioned a little bit not getting the at-large. How tough is that pill to swallow? Because you guys could have easily been 10-0, and we could have been talking about hosting a game on Saturday.
Exactly. Not making the playoffs, obviously, it's rough. Last year we were 10-0. Easily could have done it this year again. But it'd have been nice being able to have a playoff game home again like we did last year, and having everybody behind us and cheering for us. But it's tough. Your senior year, you not being able to make the playoffs ends early. It's disappointing.
And then going on to more of a positive note, in your 2 years here, you went 18-3 as a starter. I mean, what do you credit that success to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give a lot of credit to my offensive line. Obviously, that they did a great job. The run game and pass game. The defense, I've heard it wasn't that great in the past, but my last 2 years I've been here, it's been phenomenal. They've been in top 20 or whatever in a lot of rankings. So that helps a lot. When your offense is not doing so well and your defense does good, they pick you up. But then when they're not doing, we do good. So I mean, vice versa. We both help each other out. But it's nice. I mean, obviously we went 18. I went 18-3. That's a pretty good record, I think.
I would say so. And then what are you going to take away from being a Wartburg Knight?
A lot. I mean, just being around everybody and it's like a family atmosphere, which I really liked because my other schools were bigger and it's not as family oriented and there's more people around which didn't really care about you. But there's a lot of people around here that care. So
good. And then you have a favorite moment or just a favorite game within your 2 years?
Yeah, I'd have to go back on the Central game last year. Obviously, we won the IAC championship that game, and just our defense blocking that field goal, which gave us the win, and just great feeling winning that championship, clinching our berth to play the playoffs.
Yeah, that was just a great game.
Oh yeah.
And then just kind of talk about, you said more of a family atmosphere here. Just kind of talk about that atmosphere, the bonds that you've created between you and your teammates.
It's just great. I mean, everybody's just so welcoming of me. When I first came in here, I didn't really know anybody at all, and just walking in and them all just basically, it seemed like I had been here for already a year, and they're just, obviously, Nick Yorty had just left, and they kind of needed a quarterback, so I didn't, come in here thinking I was going to be the starter right away, but I had to work my way up and compete for that spot. But everybody was just welcoming, and it was easy to get along with everyone.
And now the season's over, what's next?
Next, well, I'm going to try to pursue the next level, not necessarily the NFL, but if, things come along and I get a tryout somewhere, I'm going to do that. But I'm going to try to go to a few pro days here in, this coming winter, but we'll see what happens from there.
All right, best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and still to come on Sports Night, the Wrestling Knights were in action last weekend, and unlike the NBA, we promise we will be right back. We are Sports Night.
We've covered plenty of hard-hitting sports here on Sports Night, including football, wrestling, and even rugby. This week, Kyle Pomolia goes inside the numbers with the Cedar Valley's very own roller derby team.
After years of planning, the Cedar Valley finally has a roller derby team known as the Push-Up Brawlers. And skaters have all sorts of reasons for wanting in on the action.
My husband had a ton of hobbies and I had none, and I used to roller skate as a kid and thought it would be fun. A couple other girls thought it would be fun, and this is what it turned into.
Skaters also enjoy stepping into a new identity. Everyone involved in roller derby has an alias, even the refs. Roller derby is separated into two positions, blockers and jammers, who wear a star on their helmet to distinguish them. Jammers are generally quicker, and blockers do everything they can to take out the opposing team.
Amidst the nicknames and alter egos is a scoring system that boils down to this. How many opposing players can a team's jammer pass?
Being a jammer is like being both the quarterback and the linebacker at the same time. You get hit an awful lot, but you got to get back up, and I guess that's the key to jamming.
The Cedar Valley team, the Push-Up Brawlers, took on the Farm Fresh Roller Girls of Rock Island, Illinois on Saturday. It was a match that saw no shortage of heavy hits and fast action. When the dust had settled, the Brawlers were victorious by a final of 114 to 102.
This was probably one of the closest, hardest fought bouts that we've played. I mean, it was really anybody's bout up until the last jam when their jammer got sent to the penalty box. That was kind of the deciding factors.
As you just heard, there's even a penalty box. When teams have skaters sent to the box, like hockey, they have to play down a man until their skater returns. But enough about that, because roller derby isn't so much about the rules as much as the spectacle. Everyone gets into it, including the coaches.
Well, I didn't know anything about roller derby, and I spent a lot of time researching roller derby on the internet. I'm kind of an excited person. It doesn't take much to get me really excited, so I try to do my best to stay calm.
The Brawlers' season ended on Saturday with a 500 record, but skaters are already looking forward to next year, where they can become someone else, dish out some punishment, and have a great time all the while. Reporting for SportsKnight, I'm Kyle Pomolia.
In the final block of SportsKnight, we'll reveal who our Athlete of the Week is. Be back in 2 minutes.
So Nathan, you know what time it is?
Time for the credits?
You're close, but no, you're still wrong. It's time for the Athlete of the Week. And this week, our Athlete of the Week is junior soccer player Monica Nodi. Nodi is the Knights' keeper from Carroll Stream, Illinois. Even though the women's season ended last Saturday, Nodi still had an incredible season. This season, Nodi had 69 saves and only 11 goals allowed. With her 10th shutout of the season, last Friday, Nodi helped the Knights set a single-season team record with 12 shutouts on the year. So Nathan, congratulations, buddy. You made it through your first sports night.
I survived.
You did. A very impressive job, young grasshopper.
Are you really going to continue to call me that?
Probably, since you're still a young grasshopper and a freshman. That's kind of what I thought.